Every year, millions of people promise change on January 1st. New habits, new goals, new life. But then there are people who do something very different. They make no resolutions at all, no big plans, no dramatic promises, and surprisingly, psychology says many of them are more likely to actually improve than people who set New Year goals. So are they lazy, or are they secretly smarter about change? Let's break down the psychology of people who don't make New Year resolutions. They don't believe in fresh start illusions. Here's a fact most people don't know. Psychologists call New Year motivation a temporal landmark effect. It means your brain tricks you into believing that time can magically separate your past self from your future self. Like January 1st creates a brand new identity. But people who skip resolutions don't buy into that illusion. They know if you hated waking up early on December 31st, you'll probably hate it on 1st January as well. So instead of chasing symbolic resets, they wait for emotional readiness. Because behavior change sticks better when driven by internal pressure, not social tradition. To them, a calendar doesn't change discipline. Decisions do. They know motivation is temporary. Here's something shocking. Most people quit resolutions not because they're lazy, but because motivation chemically fades. Dopamine spikes when you imagine a better future. But once routine starts, dopamine drops. And suddenly the gym feels heavy, the diet feels boring, the goal feels far away. People who don't make resolutions often already understand this cycle. They don't trust excitement, they trust repetition, so they skip emotional hype and focus on boring systems. Same bedtime, same meal prep, same routine. It doesn't look impressive online, but it actually works. And psychology confirms habit loops beat motivation every single time. They don't want their self-worth attached to a countdown clock. This one is deep. For many people, resolutions become identity tests. If I stick to this, I'm disciplined. If I fail, I'm weak. So when the goal collapses, it doesn't just hurt, it attacks self-esteem. People who avoid resolutions often avoid this emotional trap. They separate growth from self-judgment. They don't say, I failed. They say, that didn't work, I'll adjust. This mindset is called self-compassion regulation, and it's strongly linked to long-term success. Less shame, more persistence, and ironically, more improvement. They hate turning life into a public reality show. Let's be honest, modern resolutions aren't just private goals anymore. They're announcements, posts, before and after fantasies. But psychological studies show something uncomfortable. Talking about your goals publicly gives your brain early reward, the same reward you're supposed to earn from completing them. So your brain goes, nice, we already feel successful, and effort quietly drops. People who skip resolutions often hate this performance culture. They don't want applause, they want results. So they work in silence. And silence doesn't give dopamine, progress does. Many of them were forced to grow early in life. Here's a surprising pattern therapists notice. People who experience chaos, instability, or pressure early in life often stop believing in new starts. Because when you've had to survive before, you don't wait for perfect timing, you adapt as you go. So growth becomes continuous, not seasonal. These people don't romanticize reinvention, they normalize endurance. And emotionally, that makes them less attached to rituals like New Year resolutions. To them, improvement isn't a project. It's survival strategy turned lifestyle. They rely on control, not hope. This might sound strange, but it's powerful. Resolutions are fueled by hope. This time it'll work. This year will be different. But people who skip them rely less on hope and more on control. Not controlling life, but controlling habits, sleep, spending, who they spend time with. They believe change happens in boring, repeatable actions, not emotional declarations. Psychologically, this is called high internal locus of control. They don't wait for the future to save them. They build stability in the present. Some are quietly afraid of disappointment. Now let's talk about the part nobody admits. Some people avoid resolutions because failure hurts them deeply. They don't want to feel that crash again, so they lower expectations. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much. Psychologists call this defensive pessimism. By not promising themselves big changes, they protect their emotional state. It's not weakness, it's emotional survival. But the danger? Sometimes protection turns into stagnation, and growth quietly gets postponed forever. They believe identity is built, not declared. Most resolutions start with identity statements. I'm becoming disciplined. I'm changing who I am. But people who skip resolutions believe identity is earned through behavior. You don't become confident by declaring it. You become confident by surviving discomfort repeatedly, so they don't announce who they want to be. They let habits slowly shape who they are. Psychology shows that identity follows behavior, not the other way around, and these people live by that rule instinctively. Why these people often confuse others. Here's something socially interesting. People who don't make resolutions often confuse their friends. They're not loudly chasing improvement, but they still seem to move forward. They don't talk about goals, but somehow they keep changing. And that makes others uncomfortable, because it breaks the narrative that progress must look dramatic. Sometimes growth is quiet, sometimes it's invisible, and sometimes it's happening while everyone else is announcing plans. Final thought. Growth without drama. Some people chase change with fireworks. Others build it with bricks. One looks exciting, the other lasts longer. So if you're someone who doesn't make New Year resolutions, it doesn't mean you lack ambition. It might mean you've realized something most people learn late. Real change doesn't happen in January. It happens on random Tuesdays, when no one is watching and you still choose better habits. And that kind of growth doesn't need a calendar. If this video felt a little too accurate, you're definitely not alone. Do us both a favor. You subscribe, I keep dropping powerful videos, and we both win. Who knows, these videos might help you become a trillionaire or America's president. Come on, don't make them wait.